You ever sit back, maybe late at night, just you and your thoughts, and wonder, why didn't I figure this out sooner? Like genuinely feel a little ache inside because you realize there are things, big things, that nobody ever told you. And now, looking back, it feels like you had to learn them the hard way. You weren't being stubborn. You weren't being careless. You just didn't know. And now that you do, there's this quiet regret, this silent voice that whispers, if only. I think a lot of men carry that, quietly. We don't talk about it much. We power through, we laugh it off, we stay busy. But deep down, we know. There were things we should have seen, should have known, should have done differently. But nobody warned us. So today, let's talk. Not in that preachy, motivational speaker kind of way. I'm not here to act like I have it all figured out. I'm just going to speak honestly. From life, from experience, from stories I've heard and seen, this might sting a little. That's okay. Sometimes the truth does. But if you're still here, if you're still breathing, you've got time. And that's the good news. You've got time to live differently. Better. You just need to see it. You know, when I was younger, I used to think life had this natural order, that everything would just work out if I was a good person. If I worked hard, if I followed the rules. But here's the thing, nobody told me. Life doesn't reward goodness. It rewards awareness. It rewards presence. It rewards courage. And sometimes it punishes you for being passive. Harsh, I know, but it's true. I remember this guy I used to work with. Quiet guy, always polite. Came in early, stayed late, never complained. One day, he found out a new hire was making more than him for the same job. He'd been loyal for over a decade, and he was crushed. Not because of the money, really, but because he thought loyalty would protect him. He thought being the nice guy meant he'd be taken care of. And that's when it hit me. The world doesn't always see your loyalty. It sees your silence. And sometimes it mistakes that silence for weakness. Nobody teaches you how to speak up. Nobody shows you how to ask for what you're worth without feeling like you're being selfish. So you sit on your hands, you wait for permission, you wait for someone to notice how hard you're trying, but they don't. And by the time you figure out how to advocate for yourself, you've already given too much away. But it's not just about work. No, this runs deeper. It's about love too. Relationships, how we connect, or don't. There was a woman I loved once, deeply, and I never told her. Not really. I showed it in little ways. Texting good morning, being there when she needed, me listening to her problems. I was her safe space, her rock. But I never really let her see me. I never opened up about my own fears, my own dreams. And she moved on. Not because she didn't care, but because I didn't let her in. I was so busy being strong that I forgot that people fall in love with your soul, not your mask. And I realized men are taught to protect, but we're not taught how to share. We're told to be dependable, but not how to be emotionally available. So, we hide, and then we wonder why we feel alone. I'm telling you, there are things I've had to unlearn, things that were passed down, not out of malice, but because that's just what our fathers knew, and their fathers before them. Like the idea that suffering in silence is somehow noble, that asking for help is weakness, that vulnerability is something you save for your deathbed. But man, that mindset, it breaks us. Quietly. Over time. I've seen good men drown in their own pride. Miss out on love, on connection, on meaning, because they were too afraid to be seen. Really seen. And let me say this. There is nothing weak about needing people. About loving out loud. About saying, hey, I'm not okay today. The strongest thing you can do sometimes is admit you're struggling. Another thing I learned too late? Time doesn't ask your permission. It moves, with or without you. You blink, and suddenly it's been 5 years, 10. And you think, where did it all go? You think you have time to make that call, fix that relationship, chase that dream. You tell yourself, next month, after I get this promotion, after I lose 20 pounds, after. But the truth is, life doesn't wait for you to be ready, and most people don't regret what they did. They regret what they didn't do. Let that sink in. I knew a man once, retired early, plenty of money, quiet house, decent health. You'd think he had it all. But when I sat down with him, he said something I'll never forget. He said, "I spent my whole life building a future I never got to enjoy." That wrecked me, because he thought he was doing the right thing. He sacrificed, he saved, he worked late, but he forgot to live while he was alive. So yeah, these lessons, they hit hard, because they're not just ideas, they're scars. They're the echoes of missed chances and quiet realizations. Look, I'm not here to tell you how to live your life, but I am saying this. If you're listening to this right now, if you're still breathing, you still have a choice. A choice. To speak your truth. To love more openly. To stop waiting for the perfect moment. To forgive yourself. To reconnect. To show up fully. To be the man you needed when you were younger. Maybe you didn't get the fatherly wisdom you deserved. Maybe no one taught you how to feel your feelings. Maybe you've made some mistakes. Hell, maybe you've made a lot of them. But you're still here. And as long as you're here, you're not finished. Life doesn't come with a manual. But it does come with moments. And sometimes just one moment of honesty, one moment of bravery, can rewrite the rest of your story. So maybe today's the day. Maybe today's the day you stop running, stop numbing, stop pretending, and start really living. And yeah, it might hurt a little, but that's how healing begins. Some lessons come late, but they still come in time.